Do you find yourself lacking willpower? Maybe do you wish you had more? Well, you are in luck because today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to increase willpower. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy?
Hey, Danny, how's your willpower?
Hey, I think it's better than it was in the past, and I think it comes and goes sometimes. I mean, sometimes you just have bad days, right? But I think I've gotten better
Hmm.
at doing what I need to when I need to, which has been great, and not letting
Oh,
things like pile because I used to let things pile up and procrastinate until I was like way overwhelmed, you know?
hmm. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find for myself, I kind of stopped relying on willpower. And we'll kind of get into some reasons why, but there were some books that I read that yeah, willpower, it always works against you. So, that
Well, I
being
think
said,
actually I think you're right though. I think once you get it right, it's like you don't have to do it anymore. You don't have to like
mhm,
force it. Yeah,
yeah,
I
because you
agree.
only have a limited amount and it's going to give out when you need it the most. So, it's like,
Always.
yeah, so we're each going to share three tips for how to increase willpower. I will go first. My first one is meditate. So this is something, there's a whole bunch of different ways to meditate. I mean, you could follow your breaths, you could do Wim Hof meditation, you could do walking meditation, you could do like yoga nidra or this EM, I forget what the heck it's called. But anyways, like
There's
all
a
the
lot.
deep rest, non-sleep deep, NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, all this stuff. Basically what it does is it relaxes your brain and allows it to reset. So, like, willpower is something that you have limited quantities of. So, if you can allow it to reset, you'll probably have more.
Yeah, meditation's a great one because it also clears your head. I think it's good just like if you're struggling with willpower, you're also probably stressed. You're also probably overwhelmed. You're also dealing with all these other things that are getting in the way, and I think if meditation over time definitely like can be a very effective way to eliminate or help alleviate or ameliorate most of that stuff. And then you're refreshed and ready to go. So yeah, I totally agree. I think this is a good one. It's going to start
Mm-hmm.
with. My first one is routine. And I think this has helped me a lot, which is like just, starting small. Like I started with like one thing a day, but adding slowly to it so that like I know there's a set part of my day that's going to go this way every day. I have absolute control over it. It's easy to do because I've done it so many times so that even when I'm not feeling great, I do the same thing every morning for the first, like 2 hours of the morning every day. And so even when I don't feel good, I just start my day and do what I always normally do. It's not hard because I've done it, X number of times before. And then the rest of the day, I can kind of just keep going, keep that going way easier than when, like, I had no plan in the morning and you screw around, or you feel bad, so you do nothing and then it ruins the rest of your day.
Yeah, that's a great point. Getting in the habit of doing it because also it puts you in the right spot. Like I'm going to guess that your morning routine is pretty positive stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so yeah, whether you feel good or not, it gets you in the right mind state to where you would have more of that willpower in reserve. Perfect. So my next one is automate wasteful decisions. So this is something that I've read about. I don't remember where or when, but a lot of people use up their willpower by just making decisions that they make every day, like what should I wear? What should I eat? Which way should I go to work? What can I spend my money on? And it's like a lot of these things can be automated. Like you look at some of these people who wear the same clothes every day. They're very successful entrepreneurs. You wonder why, because they're not wasting energy figuring out to what to wear. Or people who are in very good physical condition, they generally eat the same things every day. Or people who are very rich, they generally follow a budget. Like all this stuff that we waste decision, mental power, and willpower to try and figure out, they just have a simple plan and they just follow it. They don't have to worry about making those decisions.
Yeah, it's a really good one too because there's a lot of studies have shown that like those extraneous decisions do wear you out and wear out your capacity to make more. And you've always seen like everybody knows who I think it was everybody knows the story of Barack Obama when he got the presidency. He got rid of like all of his suits, I think, except for the gray and blue. They were the same shades, and that way he didn't have to decide. He just grab a suit, throw it on, doesn't matter, right? You're good to go. And that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thinking is like super important because it gets rid of those just stupid decisions that you don't need to worry about. And now you don't have to worry about it ever again. It's nice, right? Because who really cares how you look?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
My next one is something we mentioned a lot, but I think it's important to reiterate is just do it for 5 minutes. Like if you're struggling doing something or starting something, just do it for 5 minutes. Like we both found this works so well. Like, you put off starting something and then you just do it for 5 minutes. And after the 5 minutes, you'll end up doing it for 10, 20 an hour or whatever. You just got to get started. And a lot of time it's like the act of starting or making that decision is what really is in the way. So just tell yourself you're gonna
Mhm.
do it 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes, not a big deal, and you're good.
And even if you just do 5 minutes, that's
Yeah.
already a win. Because in
Yeah.
a week, that's a half an hour, and in a year, that's a lot of time. So, yeah,
Yeah, I can't do the
that's
math right now
automatically a
either,
win.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So my last one for how to increase willpower is get into nature and particularly water if you can, because those are things that can totally help reset you. Like we spend all our lives in these boxes that we were not meant to live in. We're animals that were meant to live outside, and particularly in water, like 70% of our body is water. And so if you can get into those things, I know like when I used to live down in the Caribbean, get like spending a few hours in the water, the salt water, all the minerals, everything, it just was like a complete reset for anything. And I know going into nature, going for a walk in the woods does the same thing, independent of the temperature, at least for, the woods. For the water, it's a different story. But
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but it but it makes a huge difference. It just like all of that tension, the nature just seems to take it and it resets you.
Yeah, it's funny when you mentioned that. I was thinking about this the other day, how like we're so adverse to nature now because we're so used to living and being indoors that people like don't even want to sit on the grass or the sand. Like they have to have like some intermediary between them. It's like we're so like we've trained ourselves to be so against it and that but we're animals. Like we need to be in nature. So like and you just feel better when you're there. So I think that's totally a good one. Like going out in nature and especially water is also a really good important one. If you can. I think that's a really good one. My last one is prioritize what matters most too. Like I think most of the time, and this goes back to like I think getting rid of those stupid decisions. Like a lot of times, at least in my own experience, when I struggled with willpower, it was because like I think I wasn't prioritizing what mattered. So I wasn't making the right decisions, or I wasn't focusing on the right activities that I need to do. I was wasting energy on all like little things instead of doing what was important. And so if you prioritize and you know what you need to do, you can focus on that, and it eliminates a lot of the other decisions that you have to worry about.
That is a great one. Like focus on one thing. And
Yeah.
then once you're done that one thing, then you can focus on everything else. But I get myself whenever I'm frazzled, like when I'm on the verge of burnout, I just write down all the things I'm up to, and it's almost always a list over 60 things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no wonder I'm freaking burnout.
Yeah. Too much stuff.
Yeah. 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 So there you have it. How to increase willpower. A few quick tips. If you did enjoy this, make sure to like, share, subscribe. We will catch you next time. This is the Existential Stoic Podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.